Well, it's been almost 6 years now since disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein died at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. And there is so much shrouded in mystery surrounding his death, and especially his sordid dealings in life. And to that end, just earlier today, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that her office has received a, quote, truckload of evidence, end quote, related to the Jeffrey Epstein case at the FBI headquarters. And so Congress now is going to be dealing with this. They have put forth a new congressional task force looking into Epstein's life and other matters that have been hidden from public sight. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, we're trying to get hold of her, and hopefully she'll be joining us here in just a few moments. And so while we wait for her, I want to jump over to Matt Carpenter. Matt, of course, is director of FRC Action, and we've got a lot to talk about. Matt, thank you for joining us this evening. Appreciate you being on board.
Thanks, Jody. Thanks for having me.
Well, as we come into the joint session tonight, there's so much. I mean, we have border issues to discuss, economic growth, foreign policy. It just goes on and on and on. Multiple cultural issues, educational issues, and the like. And I'd just like to get your thoughts on some of the issues that you anticipate being covered tonight. Let's begin with your thoughts on the whole conversation with President Zelensky in the Oval Office the other day. You anticipate that being a pretty major issue tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was what a shocking, display that was from the Ukrainian president. I don't think any American has seen anything like that, certainly in my lifetime. But, I think without the mineral deal getting done and without security guarantees for Ukraine, it's still an open question. How is the president going to bring that war to an end? This is something he campaigned on, and he repeatedly told the American people that it was a priority for him to end the fighting, end the killing. He's fond of saying if he was president, it would never have happened. And so I do anticipate tonight we'll kind of get maybe some more information on that. I saw today there was a report that President Zelensky also expressed regret for how that went down in the White House and also expressed a willingness to come back to the table to maybe discuss that mineral rights deal. So we'll keep an eye out and see what comes of that. But I do anticipate the president will address foreign policy, and I can't imagine he would leave the war in Ukraine out of his remarks tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you on both those fronts. And also there's a host of other things to deal with on the domestic policy side of things. So many issues. I mean, now we have everything being talked about from Medicaid to a host of other things on the domestic side. What do you kind of anticipate specifically as far as domestic type policies for the president to address?
I think the work of DOGE, Jody, has been kind of this paradigm shift. Frankly, it's been. I don't think we fully maybe appreciate the gravity of what's going on. I mean, Ronald Reagan is famous for having said the closest to eternal life on planet Earth is a government program. Well, it certainly seems like the Trump administration is proving that might not have been so accurate. I mean, they're mapping out how these payments have been made out of the Treasury Department. They're looking at USAID. Famously, we had a few weeks coverage there of some of the programs, some of the things that the American people were funding through USAID, which is really eye-opening. And so I think for the first time, the American people are looking at the operations of our government with this lens of waste, fraud, and abuse. And there's been some rumblings, to your point about Medicaid, that there's probably some waste, fraud, and abuse in our entitlements program as well. No one wants to take away any benefit from an American taxpayer who paid into these trust funds. But I think Elon Musk and his team are doing their due diligence and under the orders of President Trump to make sure that there's not, we're not making Social Security payments to people who aren't alive, and there's not overbilling in Medicaid and Medicare. So, and it'd be great, you had Congressman Perry and Owens on as well. It'd be great for Congress to take up that cause as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So let me throw this one out to you, because this did come up earlier with one of the guests. The tariffs tonight. I don't see how the president is going to not be able to address the tariffs on Canada and Mexico in particular, but also China for that matter. What do you anticipate going down? And this is all part of his economic policy and strategy, and it's impacting not only the U.S., but the entire world. Energy independence, I mean, a host of things as it relates to economy and American prosperity. Where do you think the president goes on this topic?
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity for the president to make his case. One of the things I'm kind of hearing through the grapevine is that this is maybe an area where the administration feels like they need to do some educating the American people on. This is a new thing for the American people. We've been sort of inculcated into this system of free trade is good for everybody. America has been welcoming to doing business with the world, and so for President Trump to come in and then announce reciprocal tariffs, and I think that's important here. This is reciprocal tariffs. It's if you're putting a tariff on goods from America into your country, we're going to respond in kind. And kind of, underneath all that is the idea that it's best for everybody if the tariffs are low or even non-existent. But what the president really seems to be talking about is a level playing field, a fair playing field where you're not allowed to do business with America if you're running a huge trade surplus with us while we're subsidizing you in some other way. So I do anticipate we'll get some comments on new trade policy with some of our largest trade partners, Canada, Mexico, and China tonight.
Matt Carpenter, Director of FRC Action, thank you for that analysis. Look forward to tonight. Thanks for joining us.